Nayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tovu Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Ma Tovu Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Mato Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Mato Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Mato Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Mato Ya la 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 Hine mato, ya la 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 la. If you know the words, please sing along. Hine mato manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. So good to hear your voices. Hine mato manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine mato. Ya la 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 la. Hine matov, ya la 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 la. There's another great from the Ethiopian community. Hine matov. Here we go. Hine matov. Umanahim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad Hine Mato Umanahim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is to sit with my brothers. How good it is to sit with my sisters. How good it is to sit with my family. How good it is to be with community. Hine mato umanahim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine mato umanahim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be with community.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's nice to be here together as a community. Let me hear it. Woo! There you go. And those of you who are joining us by live streaming, we're just so pleased to be able to be here on this Shabbat afternoon for our Mincha afternoon service. And I think we have a bar mitzvah today as well. Jordan Goldberg is here celebrating his bar mitzvah. But Jordan, I want to tell you that we would have, right, Jews around the world on Shabbat afternoon, we have the service with or without you. Right? We take out the Torah and we read from that. And that's what enables you to become a bar mitzvah, to come before the Torah. So that's what we're going to be able to celebrate. This is what we do every week as part of Jewish life. We'll talk a little bit about the Torah reading later because it's not the usual Torah reading. Those of you who are watching, we'll explain it later. But for now, we're going to be able to follow along in our Siddur. Those of you in the sanctuary, they're on the tables there. It's the smaller of the red books. And if you're at the home, we use the Lev Shalem. It's available on our website if you haven't gotten it yet. I think you can download it as well. And Jordan, you're going to join us up here. Come on. Everybody else, by the way, here is masked out there, except when they're up here, they're going to be able to take off their masks and to be able to lead us. So you're going to be able to begin following page 214. Page 214. Now, you want the smaller of the red books, right? And there's extras on the side, on the tables, and around there. And Jordan, are you ready to lead us in Ashrei?
Kind of.
Kind of. As good as we're going to be, right? Okay. Go ahead.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehalelucha selah.
Ashrei am shekacha lo, Ashrei am shadonai Elohav.
Tehillah leDavid, aramimcha Elohai hamelech, va'avarcha shimcha leolam va'ed.
בכל יום אברכך, ועל שמך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור שבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו.
הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלותיך עשיך.
ועזוז נורותיך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה.
זכר רב טובך יביעו, וצדקתך ירננו.
חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל אליך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם ואיתו.
פותח את ידיך, ומשביע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פי, ויברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם. Hallelujah.
Page 217, going to continue, Jordan, with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
ואלמד דברך חירותי ואמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ויאמרו amen.
All right, don't go anywhere, Jordan. You're going to stay right there. You got more prayers to lead. We're getting to the Torah service in pre-pandemic times. In a moment, this is when we would have taken out the Torah, walked it around the sanctuary. You all would have climbed over each other to kiss it and everything, disregarding any sense of hygiene. We're not doing that nowadays yet. So we're going to take out the Torah, though. And so Nathan and Max Starkovich, where are you? You're going to come up? All right. We couldn't get any shorter guys to do this part? Come on. All right, you're going to join. We're going to remain seated for a moment. I will let you know when to actually open it. I'll come over and let you know. On page 218, Jordan, you're going to begin at the top of the page. You can face forward until the Gadlu part.
ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון, אלוהים ברוך חסדך, ענני באמת אישך.
We rise at this time.
ויהי בנשוא הארון ויאמר משה, קומה אדוני ויפוצו אויביך וינוסו משנאיך מפניך, כי mitzion tetzeh Torah. Ki mitzion tetzeh Torah. Udevar Adonai mi Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Gadlu l'Adonai iti, uneromema shemo yachdav.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim.
You may be seated. So we are reading from the portion of Vayera, which is in the book of Exodus. So this is the part you can change what your books you're holding. Just do me a favor, don't put them on the floor here if you would. You can put them on a table or somewhere next to you if you have. And you can have the larger of the red books, the Chumash, is what you're able to follow. And those of you at home, if you have the Eitz Chaim, the Chumash that we use, the Torah text, you'll find it page 351. All right, we're not in the small books anymore. We're going to be in the larger ones. And we are starting in book of Exodus, chapter 6. Now, if you are proficient in Jewish life, you're going to know that somehow we're not reading the Torah portion that would normally be read on this afternoon of Balak, which is in the book of Numbers. Right, Jordan? Do you happen to know why we're not reading the portion that we normally would? Because somebody was supposed to have a bar mitzvah some time ago, about a year ago. And by the way, a lot has happened since then, including a lot in the Torah reading. And this part, so I just want to have you go back to understand where we are in the context. George's going to talk a little bit about plagues, and it's very insightful, the comments he's going to share. But this is, remember, just the story where Moses, raised in the palace of Pharaoh, right? He sees the suffering of the people, of the Israelites. He steps in when an Egyptian is killing, right, beating up an Israelite. He actually kills the Egyptian. He runs away. In the wilderness, he encounters God at what we call the burning bush. And God gives those famous words, right? Go to Pharaoh and tell him, let my people go. And then Moses goes back to Pharaoh and he says, right, let my people go, right? In terms of to Pharaoh. But what he doesn't realize is Pharaoh isn't like, he's not going to say like, oh, sure, why didn't I think of that before? I'll just let them go. In fact, if you remember the story, right, Pharaoh makes it harder for the Israelites. Now, you remember that part of the portion where he says, now you have to collect all of your straw and everything that you need. I'm going to make you work even harder. So what do the Israelites do? They go to Moses and they're like, what did you do to us? Like, you made life worse. You talk about taking us out. We were better off without you. And then Moses goes to God and says, like, what did you do to me? That's a kind of paraphrase of the text. Like, you just sent me in there, like to the wolves, for this to happen? And God answers him, he says, don't worry, right? My name is Yud-He Vav-He, and nobody has known me like you're about to know me. Right? Nearly the word right. Ushmi Adonai lo nadati lahem. And this name of Yud He Vav He, you've never known before. Now, if we read the Torah, we've had that name before. So what does it mean that they've never known that name before? Because you've never known the sense of compassion that comes in redemption. And that's what you're about to feel. And that's what this moment is all about. It's crouched in the sense of anticipation. Like, we know the end of the story. Anybody who's sat through a Seder, right? It's like we know what happened. They do get out. But in the beginning, we're on the edge of our seats. We let them out? Will we not? Are they going to get out or no? Is there another plague coming? Oh my God, how many could there be? It's part of the narrative. You have to know and to step into it. And it's a beautiful story, and we tell it, of course, every year at Passover. We're going to call forward, Karen, if you will, please. And Michael, will you come forward as well? And how about our bar mitzvah? Come on. All right, we're going to call forward our parents. You can leave your seat door here. All right. And you guys can take your mask off when you're up there. All right. Michael, who's going first, you or Karen? Do we know?
Going together.
You're going to do it together. So just make sure you can read into the microphone. I want you to look at your parents. And I like to tell Jordan, this is a little bit unusual in terms of different. Most of the time, right, in this moment, you can't answer back, challenge, or any of those things. I know it's a little bit tough for you. All right, you just have to sit and listen to the wisdom of your parents. All right, let's see how that goes. All right, just make sure you're close to the microphone when you speak. Go ahead.
Dear Jordan, we just want to offer you a few words before we present you with your talit on this very special day of your bar mitzvah. So with tremendous joy and pride, we're going to offer you this blessing today.
May you always remember this special day and cherish the memory of your Jewish ancestors who came before you and made it possible for you to stand here today becoming a bar mitzvah.
May your love of learning inspire you to seek knowledge and engage in the exploration of Torah.
May you climb the highest mountains and know that you have the strength to keep going even when you want to quit.
May your sensitivity for others compel you to act on their behalf, especially those less fortunate than you.
May you have the courage to be who you are and to stand up for your ideals, even when they may seem unpopular.
May your passion and enthusiasm drive you to spread joy and hope and possibility to those whose lives you touch.
May your self-confidence and determination sustain you in times of uncertainty.
May your smile and sense of humor brighten the days of all those who you meet.
May you take the gifts and talents that you have been given and make this world a better place.
May you always know that you're never alone on life's journey.
May you be guided by the wisdom of the Torah and our ancestors, even as you find your own way.
May your eyes shine with the light of Torah, and may your face be radiant with your inner light that you share with this world. We love you more than these few words can say.
Beautiful, beautiful blessing. You're going to hand the talit to Jordan. And Jordan, you're going to take it and recite the blessing. Go ahead. And turn towards the microphone.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu leyitatef v'tzitzit.
Amen. Ben, you're going to join us up here as well for this Aliyah. And again, those of you who are following in the Chumash, page 351, Exodus chapter 6, beginning verse 2.
יעמדו צבי בן משה מנדל ומרים וקרן בת אברהם ונילי ובנימין בן צבי וקרן ראשון.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayedaber Elohim el Moshe, Vayomer elav, Ani Adonai, Vayera el Avraham, El Yitzchak ve'el Yaakov be'el Shaddai, Ushmi Adonai, lo nodati lahem, Vegam hakimoti et beriti itam, Latet lahem et eretz Canaan, et eretz megurehem, asher garuva, vegam ani shamati, et naakat b'nei Yisrael, asher Mitzrayim ma'avidim otam, vayezkor et beriti.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. We're going to call forward the grandparents, Avi, Neely, Alan, and Marion, if you'll join us, please.
יעמדו אברהם בן מרדכי ומלכה, ונילי בת נתן ושרה, ומשה מנדו בן אלתא ומרים, ומרים בת מאיר וחירותה, שני.
Okay.
Yeah, we all together. Okay. Okay. Baruch et Adonai Havorach.
ברוך
Adonai Havarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Lachen emor lifnei Yisrael, ani Adonai, v'hotzeti etchem mitachat sivlot Mitzrayim, v'hitzalti etchem me'avodatam, v'ga'alti etchem b'zro'a netuya, ובשבטים גדולים, ולקחתי אתכם לי לעם, והייתי לכם לאלוהים, וידעתם, כי אני אדוני אלוהיכם, המוציא אתכם מתחת סבלות מצרים, והבאתי אתכם אל הארץ, אשר נשאתי את ידי לתת אותה לאברהם, ליצחק ויעקב, ונתתי אותה לכם מורשה, אני אדוני. וידבר משה כן אל בני ישראל, ולא שמעו אל משה מקוצר רוח ומעבודה קשה.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Give your grandparents a hug as they each one, they go down. Go, Jordan, you can give them a hug, each one. Go ahead. Give them a hug. There you go. Go ahead as they go down. All right. It's okay. No, you're gonna head down. Yes, there you go. And then we're gonna call forward now officially for as our bar mitzvah. Jordan, this is gonna be for you. Here it goes.
הבחור הבר מצווה Ya'amod, 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 Yarden ben Tzvi v'Keren, Shlishi Chazak, Zak.
Oof. One long moment for Jordan there. Before Jordan does the Torah reading and the blessings over the Torah, he's going to share with us some of his thoughts on the portion of his bar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Torah portion, Va'era, in the book of Exodus, describes the first 7 plagues that God brought upon the Egyptians before Pharaoh allowed the Jews to leave Egypt. We retell the story of the Exodus from Egypt, including the 10 plagues, every year at the Passover Seder. During the Seder, we are instructed to imagine our own lives within the Exodus story and how the story impacts us today. When I think about the plagues and the exodus of the Jews, I realize that our people's journey from slavery to redemption still seems to be ongoing, and that many plagues still affect our world today. Examples of modern-day plagues include plagues of societies, plagues of nature, and individual plagues. Plagues of society include homelessness, hunger, and greed. We have plagues of nature, such as earthquakes, floods, global warming, and especially pandemics. And every individual has to deal with their own personal struggles or plagues. I feel that it's important for us to keep these afflictions in mind and work with our hearts, minds, and hands to make this world a better place. I hope that with future awareness, advancements in medicine and technology, and increased compassion and empathy for each other, that we will eventually be able to conquer these hardships and many more. Today, as I become a bar mitzvah, I will be considered an adult in the Jewish community. Even though I'm supposed to be a young man now, I feel trepidation about the future, just as my ancestors must have felt when they were in the desert thousands of years ago. Just like my ancestors, I am becoming more independent, and I'm learning to take on more responsibilities. Preparing for my bar mitzvah, such as learning to chant my Torah portion, practicing to lead this service, and studying the meaning of the parasha has been very meaningful to me. And I have learned so much from this extra long process. The preparation has helped me look deeper into my relationship with God and the Torah, and has brought me closer to my family, my ancestors, and my heritage. I would like to thank my family, my friends, Rabbi Vogel and Hazan Stein for sharing this day with me and making it a day I will never forget. I would also like to thank my family members who aren't with us in person today, and to Hazan Mimi, who has been so patient and encouraging in preparing me for this day. I hope you're watching at home. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. As Joy gets ready for the blessings, as a reminder, those of you who have some candy to throw, or if you're going to distribute, this is the time, and at the end of this is when you're going to gently and lovingly throw it at him, as if you were sending him a kiss, not a Clayton Kershaw fastball, boys, okay? All right, here we go with the blessing and Torah reading.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, bo daber el Paro melech Mitzrayim, vishalach et bnei Yisrael me'artzo. Vayedaber Moshe lifnei Adonai lemor, hein bnei Yisrael lo shameu elai, ve'ech Yishma'eni Faro, va'ani aral sefatayim, vayidaber Adonai el Moshe ve'el Aharon, vaitzavim el bnei Yisrael ve'el Paro melech Mitzrayim, lehotzi et bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata betochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Yehei lanu, yehei lanu, yehei lanu. Yisrael, Yehei lanu, Ulecha Yisrael, David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam, David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehei lanu.
Feeling better?
Yes.
Oh my, Jordan, you just have this great spirit about you that makes me want to laugh all the time. It's just the way in which you think and look at the world as if the world should be running differently. Right? If the world was running as it should in Jordan's mind, like I can see that brain working. No, it should be running a different way. And I pretty much got you pegged, I think. And what I love is that you can tell as you're looking at the world that you're asking questions. And you want to argue against the world. And you want to ask questions about it. And that's really hard when you're a teenager for the parents.
Sorry.
And God, one day, if you have kids, right, you're going to look back and you're going to say, oh, I can't believe what I did to my parents. Like, you're going to have a moment like that. But we actually love when you do it. It makes life more challenging and more complicated, but it makes you a better person. And by the way, the world a better world. I love the questions you asked me. Wow, they were challenging questions. And our portion is actually the place I didn't think about the connection. Right? We were talking about God. And like, how do we understand God? And I want you to know, when we get together, we're going to continue our discussion. Like, the burning bush is a perfect example. Like, if you think you want to understand God, how is it you can have a bush that's burning but not really burning? And by the way, I'm going to give you a name for God that you can't even pronounce, so don't even think about it. As if to say, Jordan, you think you can understand God? Forget it. And what happens in our humility, you're going to find out, Jordan, is to say, like, oh, I'm not the first person to ask those questions. They've been asked for hundreds and thousands of years. I learned a long time ago about education. I worked with some amazing educators, including one named Nili Ziv. Right? Many, many years ago. And I've known your family. I've known your mom almost about this age, probably maybe a little bit older. I don't think much more. So I've been around your family much longer than you. Just so you know that. I'm just like throwing it out there. And I want you, and part of those connections is about reimagining what the world is about. That's what education's about. By the way, the definition of a good teacher is someone not who gives answers, but someone who inspires their students or their children to ask the right questions. That's what a good teacher is. You are going to be a great teacher. It's about the questions in life, Jordan, and you are well on the way. Karen, Michael, I just feel so blessed to be able to share with your grandparents that are here, Jordan, with your brother, be able to have all the intimate community. And those people, I want you to wave for the people who weren't able to be here. Just wave to them and say shalom, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's what I mean. That's where you make me laugh, you. All right, here, I'm going to offer you a blessing that's been given to our people for thousands of years. And it goes like this. Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisar Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you, Jordan. May you always be a blessing to ask the right questions and to challenge the world to be better. May you always bring goodness in the world and help bring peace. And we all say, Amen. We're going to return the Torah to the ark, and we're going to call forward, right? Who are we calling? Ron and Maya? Is that the names? Who, hold on. Gilad and Maya. That's who was coming. The Rons. Mishpachat Ron, Vakasha. All right, we're going to rise together, please, as we return the Torah to the ark.
Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar deracheha darchei noam b'chol netivotecha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu
Be seated. We are back in the prayer books now, those smaller of the red books, so if you want to make sure that we can follow along. And Chatzi Kaddish, Jordan, you're going to lead us page 222.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Belma divrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon uvyomechon Ufchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'alam l'lamei almaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabah v'yipar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Da'amiran be'alma ve'yimeru. Amen.
We rise together, please, for the Amidah, page 223. Again, page 223, and Jordan's going to lead us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot, Umevi Goel, Lifnei V'neihem, Leman shemo be'ahava. Melech ozer ufoked umoshia umagen. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ufoked Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai mechaye metim atah Rav lehoshia morid hatal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh metim berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato. Lishene afar michamocha ba'al gevurot umidom melach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanata Lehachayot meitim. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hameitim.
נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכרזה אל זה ואמר
קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו.
קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך הארץ כבודו, ליומתם ברוך יאמרו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי הוא מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
The Amidah continues in the following pages, Hebrew or English, or if you prefer, private prayers and meditations of your heart.
Say shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru,
If you're finished, you may be seated.
Oh, say shalom imro.
Page 230, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ואלמד יברח חירותי ואמליך מלכותי, וחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, ועגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו. אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולם מעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויפאר וירומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמירם ועלמה וימרו. אמן. תתקבל צלתן ובאותן, דכל ישראל, קדם אבוהן דיבישמיה וימרו. אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, וימרו. אמן. עושה שלום במרמה, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, וימרו. Amen.
We rise together, Aleinu, page 231.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבכי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. You can join your family, Jordan, for a moment down there. All right, there you go. Page 232, we finish our service as always with a moment of memorial, remembering those who have gone before us. So whether it's somebody here or somebody at home that has need or desire to recite the words of the mourner's Kaddish, on page 232, anybody reciting Kaddish, I invite you to rise at this time as we join together in those words. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah. Amen. Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'galal v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevorach le'alam u'me'olmaya. יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא. תדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה, בריחו, ואלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה וימרו, אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו, amen. May God establish his peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel, and all of humanity, as we say, amen. All right, Jordan, been about 2 years. This has been in the works. And we were actually talking about this together, just want it to be over. And yet, I think you really enjoyed it. I want to thank you, by the way, for leaving a couple of things for the Chazan and for me to do during the service. It wasn't a lot that you gave us to do, but we're grateful for just those little things to be able to share. He did a fabulous job, didn't he, in terms of leading everything. And Jordan, that's what it's about. It's about indicating for yourself and for a community that you are capable now and that you're ready to take that role in terms of being a communal leader. Mike, I remember you coming with the boys for wrapping the tefillin. Remember those and those great activities? Remember, Ben? And it's part of keeping connected. Right? Congregation, the community has kept you connected, and we want you to always feel the sense of sanctity that you feel today, always. For the grandparents, just mazal tov to you. I know it's a great kvelling that you do, just to be so proud and to see another generation who steps up. There's a Shechianu moment is what we call it. So I'm going to invite the family up. Shechianu is an acknowledgement of the sanctity of life and the appreciation. And so they're going to all come up together. We're going to have you rise, if you will. Put your prayer books down on the chairs. And in your own family units, wherever you are, guys in the back, just you can give yourself a hug. That's okay. There you go. Perfect. And those of you at home, if you want, you can rise. Shechianu. This is a sacred moment, and we join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו בקימה והגיענו לזמן הזה ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו בקימה והגיענו לזמן הזה. Let's all sing Amen.
Mazel Tov, Jordan!
Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulechal Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulechal Yisrael, David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam, David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yehelanu, Mazal Tov. What a beautiful day. Shabbat Shalom.